Bitcoin and Solana's charts are looking great right now, and there's two new Solana-based projects which I want to talk about in today's video. One of them I've dev'd myself. Alright everyone, welcome back for another update on Bitcoin and Solana. It's currently Monday the 25th of March. As always, before we dive into the charts, I want to talk about the news for Solana and talk about these two new projects. Now the first one is not made by myself, this is getgrass.io. I've been using GetGrass for the past 11 days and I'll share with you my thoughts. So what's the TLDR behind Grass? Grass is building a layer 2 capable of processing 1 million transactions per second that will be settled on Solana. Grass is the data layer of AI. What Grass does is it uses your unused broadband and it acquires data that will be used for AI training. The TLDR behind this is you download the Grass web extension, you create a Grass account, and you keep it running in the background to earn points. So if you're bullish on Sol, you're bullish on Web3, and you're bullish on AI, GetGrass seems like the perfect triad of these three sectors. To clarify, this isn't mining, you're just selling your spare internet connection. I've used Grass for the past 11 days while I've been, working on my computer, gaming, etc. I found that it has zero impact on connection speed or your electric bill at the end of the month. In those 11 days, I've acquired round about 7,500 points, which at this moment in time, according to Whales Market, will come in round about 0.1 Sol. This is pre-market, so it may end up being worth a lot more when it does finally release, and that is personally my thesis. Now at some point soon I'll create a tutorial, I'll show you the dashboard and how to use it. At this moment in time, I'm not the most tech savvy in terms of editing videos. When you do come on the dashboard, it does dox your IP address, so I just need to figure out how to record while hiding that information. So keep an eye out for that in the next few days. Before we talk about the next project, which is one that I've created, let's quickly run through the news on Solana. If you haven't been aware, there's been something of a racist meta on Solana. If you don't know what I'm referring to, check out the screen. Tons of things like this have been trending on the Solana Dex screener. Now this racist meta seems like it's coming to an end, which is good for publicity. Dex Screener says they'll be reviewing their profile moderation in the coming days. Bird Eye says the same thing. The Solana co-founder condemns this meta. And for publicity's sake, I think that's a good thing. In other news, Solana's monthly DEX volume surpasses 50 billion for the first time in history, with over 40 billion of that monthly volume being from just Jupiter. Jup is now at $1.34. Do you remember when everyone was fading this at 30 cents? And over a month ago, I was telling you 10 reasons to be bullish on Jup. Ignore the noise. Jup is probably going to go to $3.30 this cycle. Well, we're not there yet, but my thesis is still the exact same. I never jeeted Jup, I never doubted Jup. It had a little bit of a tough run at the start, but now things are bouncing back strong. Let's now talk about the second project, and this is a project which I have actually dev'd myself. This token is a meme coin, and it's called Dancing Frog. Do you remember in my last video I told you that I think dancing tokens are going to be a meta in this upcoming cycle, and my favorite one was Dancing Triangle as per my previous video. Well, I put my dev hat on and I figured out how to make these GIF animated tokens, and as you can see, this one down here, dancing between Dancing Triangle and Drumming Biden, is Dancing Frog. It's a family-friendly PG non-racist meta, just a cool dancing token of Kermit the Frog. So here's some information about how we launched. This project was released today on pump.fun, literally within the past 6 hours. So why did I launch on pump.fun? Well, pump.fun is a great place to launch coins where it prevents ROGs from devs. How this works is if you are to list on Pump, it's a fair launch, there's no pre-sale, and there's no team allocation. That means I can't create a 10 million supply and just gift myself 5 million supply. I would have to launch it and buy into the bond curve. So I got 0 tokens allocated. I had to go and provide my own liquidity. I had to pay $300 for Dex Screener. And all of the tokens which I purchased were purchased from the bonding curve, which was then listed on Radium and then burnt. So this is really impressive considering this token is only about 5-6 hours old, something like this. It's currently got 22,000 worth of locked liquidity, which is 100% burnt. That's why it's listed on Dex Screener. It's currently on Radium, and now it's also listed on Jup. You just need to copy and paste the contract address from Dex Screener, paste it into Jupiter, and you can use Jupiter. But you can see the Dex Screener is fully loaded up, so if you want to go on your Dex Screener and type in DFROG or Dancing Frog, you will be able to find this. At this moment in time, it's got about 40k market cap, so you're still incredibly early. Seems like every single video I'm saying this, but once again, a shill to my Discord. This coin was called out when we stealth launched at a 6.9k market cap. That was after I provided liquidity. 6.9k to almost 40k, and that's after the correction. It had a slight correction as soon as it listed on Dex screen and the liquidity pool got added to Radium. People just sold via Radium, but it is what it is. We're going to bring this back. And this is my project with my name attached to it and my liquidity behind it. So of course I want it to do well. So this is just a meme coin, but it is dancing. I think it's based. It's got my name behind it. It's got my reputation at stake. So if you want to get involved, you can. I'll leave a link to the Dex screener down below, and I'll leave a link to the Twitter as well. In total, there's 1 billion tokens. Radium holds 27% of them. And you can see my wallet down here, cowboytrades.sol, holds 5% of the supply. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to know what the GIF looks like, it's this GIF right here. Very simple, very based, ties in with the dancing meta. And at a 40k market cap and our community, I think we can easily 10x this or more. But anyway, let's now move on from the Solana news and let's dive into the news for Bitcoin. So diving right into the Bitcoin ETF flows, of course, we haven't had any flows over the weekend because these are stock traded products. Now for the past few trading days, we have seen some outflows on the 9 ETFs. However, these have been very, very small, very insignificant amounts compared to the amounts that we've been having in the past week or so. So all in all, the cumulative flows look something like this. We've had a massive inflow of BTC into these funds so far. We've seen a little bit of a dip, but here's what I find extremely funny. If we come over to where the week ended on Friday, this is where we saw the end of the outflows because of course Bitcoin doesn't trade on the weekend if you're on a stock market. Now of course Bitcoin itself trades over the weekend, however if you're holding one of the ETFs you can't sell on Saturday or Sunday. So if we're coming over to where the rest of the people sold their Bitcoin on the ETFs, this was down here on Friday at the exact bottom, 62,100. Imagine selling some of your Bitcoin and taking profit. You're 60 years old, you've never bought crypto before, you've got the Bitcoin ETF, you take a little bit of profit, you panic sell at 62,200, and you wake up on Monday morning and your stock market app refreshes and it says Bitcoin is now 70,800 and you've been completely jeeted out of a 14% move. I think this is going to demonstrate and make a lot of stock market traders think twice before jeeting Bitcoin again. However, let's look at the charts right now because this looks like a very, very strong recovery for Bitcoin. In my opinion, the bottom is in. If we're looking at the daily time frame, the stochastic RSI on the daily is turning up very, very strongly. However, guys, let's zoom out. The main driver of this market right now is the fact that the halving is right around the corner and that we've got massive institutional adoption coming with Bitcoin breaking above its previous all-time high. So we've seen this before. When Bitcoin tends to come and touch its previous all-time high, it tends to have a correction for about a week or two. And this is what we saw over here. Bitcoin came, hit a new all-time high. We made that high round about the 11th of March. We had a correction for 2 weeks and now it looks like we're blasting back up. If I kind of show you, if we zoom in to where the previous all-time high is, this is what I see of significance. This was the wick that we talked about a little bit earlier that happened on Friday. This was the wick that came down to around about 60,600 or so. And as you can see, this wick correlates to the candle body closes of the previous first bull run top that we saw back in April of 2021. So we've retested a very significant level. The second significant level is this area right here. These few wicks that we saw, in fact, we can take this back even further. All of these wicks that we saw at the previous all-time high and the candle body close right here, the highest candle body close Bitcoin saw in the previous cycle, 64,400, we managed to close in this box holding that previous all-time high of support. So right now, things are looking good. We look like we've flipped major previous resistances on the previous all-time high of support, and now it looks like we're going back up. I imagine the ETF flows will be coming positive in this week, and I imagine stock market jeeters will probably stop jeeting this move. Once again, guys, I think we are really at the precipice of an explosive move for Bitcoin. Just look at this chart over here. Once again, this is where the halving is suspected to happen, literally within about 30 days. Every single time Bitcoin sees a halving, maybe we see a correction for a week or so when the halving happens, but this is where the bulk of the gains are always made in the bull run. They always happen very, very quickly after the halving. So could we have a correction for a week or so round about the halving? Yes. Is that an opportunity to buy your favorite coins? Yes. Also, have we just seen a correction for the past 2 weeks or so? And is that possibly the correction coming into the halving? It's very possible. With that being said, I would look at price targets much higher. I'm really not interested in, at this stage of the market cycle, looking at the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame and saying, hey, this is the next move up, it's a 2% move and this is what we can trade. No, we're really at this stage, in my opinion, where we're getting ready for that explosive move. And I don't want to be caught with my pants down, and I don't want you to be caught with your pants down, because I'm saying, look at the 4-hour time frame. This 1.618 at 72,000 is probably where we're going to top out next, and then you're just going to get jeeted as it's going to explode up. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm really looking at the bulk of the move to be happening very soon. If you want a short-term price target, it's still going to be on a macro chart, and it's going to be around about the 1.236 at 84,200. The next target up from there is the 1.618 at $105,000. Look at the 100K psychological level. That's also going to be a very important one. And once we start blasting above these levels, guys, it's going to be the 2 extension, it's going to be 126K, it's going to be the 2.618 extension at 160K, and then, in my opinion, we're going to kind of run up into the top of this band, which we've been discussing on the channel, and that could potentially be roundabout where the bull run top is. However, definitely with the institutional flows, we'll keep you up to date. Depending on how the narrative keeps on developing, we could end up readjusting our price targets much higher, but at least in the immediate short term, you know my price targets, you know what I'm looking at. Now let's move on to Solana, because Solana's done a very similar thing. It hasn't broken a new all-time high, and it hasn't retested the previous all-time high, but what it has done is it's flipped above the macro 618 from the previous bear market. You can see the 618 Fibonacci right here, $165 last week. We came right down to this, we wicked, and now we are moving back up. Solana is already bouncing back up to $192 as of the time of recording. Literally the bulk of the correction happened in one day, and ever since then it's been pretty much up only with a higher low. So the same thing for Solana. Keep your eyes on higher price targets. In my opinion, it's the same sort of story where we looked at, every single time Bitcoin broke its all-time high, yeah, we had a little bit of a correction, but for Solana it doesn't always seem to be the case. When Solana broke above this all-time high, it went parabolic. When it broke above this high, it went parabolic. When it broke above this high, it went parabolic. Sure, we're going crazy now, but I think once we get above this all-time high, we're just going to go absolutely insane for Solana. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my Bitcoin and Solana 2025 price prediction video that I made 2 weeks ago, detailing how I believe Bitcoin gets to that $160,000 mark, backed by a little bit more TA and in-depth analysis, and also how I think Solana gets to $1,300 based on previous ETH cycles. That sounds a little bit crazy, that sounds a little bit bullish. In the end of the day, at this video, all I'm going to show you is this. Based on ETH's previous market cap in the previous cycle, that would mean Solana would be up at $1,317. And based on the fact that if Solana just copies the same fractal for Ethereum from the previous cycle, just a copy and paste of how we were moving, then we could be up at $880. And as you can see, these are moving pretty in tandem. Like, this was round about the time where Ethereum had a correction in the previous cycle, and it only lasted a week, and that's what we've seen in Solana. This could be the next time where we're getting ready for a disgusting move to the upside for Solana, breaking above that previous all-time high and just going parabolic from there. Once again, a lot of information to digest. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. Once again, you might just be looking at this and thinking, well, this isn't backed by too much. Once again, there was a video 15 minutes long 2 weeks ago where we detailed these price predictions in much greater detail, with much more analysis, with much more data, with much more charts. So if you want that in more detail, be sure to check that out if you haven't already. If you have, get ready for that next move to the upside, guys. Everything's looking good. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash like on the way out. I will once again leave a link down below to the Dancing Frog video. Make sure you come and join the Discord. I still think this token is incredibly early, and I think this will do extremely well. Just because it's got a base dancing meta, and just because it's got my name behind it. Anyway, smash like on the way out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.